Hello, everyone. Today is Saturday, October 10th, 2020. It's World Mental Health Day. They don't care about our health anyway, our mental or physical or spiritual health. But it's 11:48 a.m. and yesterday I did a video and it took about 10 hours to upload on my phone on their Wi-Fi. So I'm still feeling down and depressed and not wanting to talk to anybody, but I'm feeling a little better. But I guess I'm shielding myself emotionally because when you're talking, when you have situation that you're most emotionally fragile, people, even the ones who supposed to be a supportive system or supposed to be suffering the same thing you're suffering, they kick you down harder. They kick you down harder and make you feel worse rather than helping you feel better. As I think I talked about in the video yesterday that didn't upload until this morning. um, that people say hurtful things thinking that it's helpful, and sometimes it's the same cliche kind of, just statements like saying don't, like they think it's supposed to be supportive by saying don't be a victim. That's not helpful at all, you know. Or like one person said, oh, it's not what people call you, but what you answer to. That doesn't sound like it's, help me feel better. Make me feel more kicked down. So it's like yesterday I was afraid that I was going to just go crazy, but, you know, didn't know what to do. And, you know, so I just took an off and on break of backing off of social media and excuse me, I even logged out of my social media twice, at least twice yesterday, and then logged back in to say something, you know. But it's like, yeah, profess targeted individuals. They block and hate me for no reason at all. Just like, you know, people who aren't targeted. And it's like the hatred towards me that haven't done them anything, and the hatred towards me is strong. Very stronger than the street perps who hate me. I really don't understand, you know. So I'm feeling a little bit better, but still feeling like I need a break or something. But at the same time, I feel like I need to just keep letting it out, and trying to not be afraid, and try to not be fearful, and just speak my mind. And it's like some people um would try to, you know, pervert the Bible to suit their needs, or use the Bible to justify condemning and hurting you, um, for their intent to make sure you feel hurt and kicked down even more, rather than, encouraging and edifying you, or helping you, you know, helping you, lift you up. Like, for example, um, if I, talk about, what I'm talking about, and they might, as a way to shut me down from speaking my experiences, they'll use that Bible scripture. I don't remember the exact scripture, but it has to be in Proverbs. A fool uttereth all his mind. So one way people try to shut me up is try to say you tell all your business. Self-righteous, narcissistic abusers try to condemn me and say I tell all my business. I know the people who I went to school with had that mindset that I just look like a crazy fool, a dumbass, for just telling all my business, just telling all my life. Oh, you put all your personal life out there on the internet. You're low class, ignorant, and ghetto enough to say something like that, and then you ignorantly laugh, But, I mean, I don't have any proper, like a good therapist doesn't exist, in the human world. So we pay lost people who have problems in their own lives themselves. We pay them to talk about our problems, and they just kick us down even harder. And then we pay them $75 a week just to go home leave out the counseling office feeling worse than you came in. So, the fact that my video, yeah, it said last night, I think it said 3.94 gigabytes for almost 30 minutes. But I did more than 30 minutes, I think, on some videos. I think I did an hour or something the other day. On this computer, it was like less than 500 megabytes, and it uploaded faster. So so for me to just do my videos and just talk out my hurt and my pain or whatever, I mean, it's like, for me to get it uploaded faster and get more videos out of the way, I have to be on a computer. And my phone has a different setup and a different system now. That I used to be able to upload like 150 gigabytes on my phone worth of YouTube videos, and it was still processed like normal. But they wait till after I get this phone. Now they're strict at slowing my speed. Like, even before I hit that 35 gigabyte threshold, I guess that's the word. But so that's why I like first my phone would be like more average / slow, but now ever since I got this phone, it will upload super fast for like maybe the first 26 gigabytes, and then after that it starts slowing down. And then after the real 35 gigabytes, you might as well call that slower than dial-up. So I guess I mean, for me to use being here for 2.5 weeks, and sometimes it's like, it depends on the person's personality whether or not I can talk to them and they'd be likely to sound insensitive or say something that hurts me even further. And the same people would be like, I'm always here for you if you need to talk. But then if I show them a blog I wrote or tell them I'm going through something, I don't have, that's when they dismiss and ignore me, and they don't have time. But I can go and be in the middle of eating, and then they're like, oh, I guess you don't have time for me, huh? Like, it's supposed, like, but everything's supposed to be one-sided. Like, I'm supposed to answer everything to them right away, but then they want to use their so-called short attention span as a freaking excuse to, not be supportive of me. They might, oh, well, your videos are too long. I didn't have time to watch that. Or your well, your short story. Oh, I don't have time to I don't have the patience to read that. I have a short attention span. More than one person who say that. Quite a few people have done that to me. So it's like as if I'm wasting my breath or wasting my time and just looking like a crazy fool. Even, you know, so-called, fake TI perps who act as if they're real, try to make it like as if I make the targeted individual, like as if I'm supposed to be the laughing stock of the targeted individual community, or I make the whole targeted individual community look bad, just so the perps can laugh, bully, harass, and laugh at me and say, even other targeted individuals don't even like you. That's such a horrible person. So speaking of that, Chief Handler, I should call him, you know, delusional chief homo, like no, uh, delusional chief slave faggot is what I call him. Delusional chief slave faggot. You're nobody's handler. You don't handle anybody. So and fake TI perps like to falsely say that and the popular fakes like to falsely say that Chief Handler is nothing but an artificial intelligence bot. No, he's not. Um it's like, watch out for the fake TI perps who falsely call themselves real. They blame all of our gang stalking and targeting and abuse on artificial intelligence. Your own twin sister saying, making up a lie and say you did harm to her kids. That's not artificial intelligence. Or, you know, when that homeless, dirty girl spit on me and beat me up and beat me with the chair and all that, and me having to freaking go to court and all that, that's not artificial intelligence. Or that's not a freaking illusion. That's new age lies. New age lies. And people kick me down even harder for speaking against anything new age. Like as if I'm forbidden to even mention new age. you know, so it's like I just can't believe how people will believe instantly believe a lie without investigating when it comes to targeted individuals. But you say something that's true and show your proof, and people block and ignore you, and then still tell you that they don't believe you when you're showing them all the proof. Even not even targeted individuals. It's just anybody who's speaking the truth against the new world order and whatever, the way this world is headed. Nobody believe you, and you show the proof, and they feel like they don't have time. you know. So it's like I'm still feeling like just wanting to run away from everybody and just be by myself, but at the same time feel like I'm crying for somebody supportive. But they have people who act like they think their words are supportive, but then they be hurtful, and they don't see anything wrong with what they say. Like one time in 2010, I'm not suicidal right now, but I'm saying when I was suicidal, depressed, like constantly suicidal through almost the whole year of 2010 and nearly succeeded. And after I get out the mental hospital, I attempted suicide again because of how horribly they treated me. And then they try to say in the fake mental health group, why do you keep why do you keep trying to kill yourself? But then they agreed that I deserved for the 6 men to rough handle me and beat me up and put bruises on me and try to break my arms and stuff in a mental hospital and tickle torture me and ignorantly laugh and think it's funny, you know. So you don't think that the mental hospital will be nothing but narcissistic perps? The loony house, the mental hospital. So one time they had this lady who's supposed to be a diehard Aaliyah fan. Her name is Lucky, and she was supposedly one of Aaliyah's top fans after Aaliyah died or whatever. One of these top elite fake fans. And like she was insensitive and then try to tell me you're only a victim if you act like one. Like, bitch, shut up, trying to say you're only a victim if you act like one. And that wasn't comforting at all, you know. But if she feels a certain way about Aaliyah, and if Aaliyah would have felt the exact way I was feeling or said the same thing that I said, because of Aaliyah's celebrity status, the response would have been different. But because even Aaliyah's fans, I'm glad I broke away from that because that seemed like an elitist cult too. Everybody who who basically fought to gain Rashad's respect or whatever, or to gain it's like a competition to get Rashad to like you and talk to you or whatever. Aaliyah's brother. That seemed like another elitist kind of cult too. And the ones at the top who were getting his attention, they thought they were better than the ones who weren't getting his attention. And I woke up to the truth and saw I didn't have to research any Illuminati. I saw the true Rashad for who he really is, and the hell with that whole family. I didn't even know that the celebrities that we looked up to, and not only musicians and actors, actresses, but anybody with some fame or whatever, or notoriety, like the well-respected person in your community could be the vilest, worst, sadistic pedophile, and nothing ever happens to them. Like, they're untouchable, they're invincible. And so, there are people who still refuse to believe the truth about how dirty Miss Diane Horton is, Aaliyah's mom, and Uncle Barry Hankerson. I mean, how dirty they are and stuff like that. But if you speak truth, like when I spoke out, about the type of person Rashad is, yeah, people were saying like, oh yeah, she done lost her freaking mind, or she has lost her mind for real. You lost your mind. And years later, they still grudged against me, because I don't speak to them no more, the so-called fans, And so it's like that was one weird ass Twitter cult in 2010 and 2011. And so I don't even follow them on Twitter anymore. But it's like Aaliyah's fans didn't get along with each other, and there was this competition in elitism, and Michael Jackson fans also used to fight amongst each other, never get along, and it's like they have some people who didn't even become a Whitney Houston fan until after she died, or you didn't become a Nipsey Hussle fan until after he died. And now all of a sudden, y'all want to compare him to the next Tupac when nobody even really heard who Nipsey Hussle was. I mean, I just heard, excuse me, I just heard who Nipsey Hussle was. Um, I just heard who Hussle was, like seeing his name on certain mixtapes, but I never saw his face and never knew he was with Lauren London or any of that, you know. But now they compare him to the next Tupac, and now, I mean, once he died, now everybody wearing Nipsey Hussle shirts, and it's like as if the Tupac worship is gone and it's all about Nipsey. And then people were saying that Nipsey was color struck and didn't like dark and brown skinned women. I mean, all kinds of stuff, whatever. But um, it's like, so if you get what I was trying to say, the way Aaliyah's fans get along, like an elitist cult, in the same way as the professed targeted individual community get along, like it's this hierarchy of elitism. Um, the popular fakes up at the top and get the most attention and notoriety. If they want to sell books, they make a lot of money off their books, or eBay store or whatever they got going. And the ones who are truly suffering get falsely accused of being fake. And then even the ones at the bottom seem like a Hunger Games or dog eat dog world, that they just devour and tear each other down and say hurtful stuff. um, or act like they think that they're better than you because they're so-called suffering more than you. I mean, or I say supposedly suffering more than you. And they think they're better because their suffering is supposedly greater than yours. So you should keep your mouth shut. That you should keep your mouth shut and not say anything because your suffering is not as great as they claim that theirs is, So it's only the popular fakes are allowed to speak on non-existent imaginary experiences that they just play a charade, like this fake coronavirus thing, like playing a whole charade, playing a whole game, faking as if it's real. But the ones who are truly suffering are forced against our will to keep silent, like we're not allowed to say anything. And like we have to just keep our mouths shut and not document anything, or that we should just ignore everything and everybody and just go about our business. Like, if anybody was cheated out of their food, you would fight for your money's worth. Anybody. So I'm supposed to ignore that and be told, oh, you're lucky that they're not poisoning you. Like as if you're trying to, I guess the word is undermine my suffering, or I'll have to hear like, oh, you're lucky it's not 10 times worse, or you're lucky, be glad you're living and breathing, or something like that, be glad you're living and breathing, or just be thankful that God woke you up this morning, and don't complain about anything, and consider yourself fortunate, and count your blessings and stuff like that. So I know sometimes when I start off talking, it's different from the subject I originally intended to talk about. So this is definitely going to be uploaded faster since it's on my laptop. But the other day, and plus today, when I put on my camera on my computer, it tries to make, like, it slows down. I mean, it acts slow, like slowly process, and then act like it's an error, and then I have to do it all over again. And then my computer, I hardly even use it that much. I mean, in my computer, I got it last year with my work check from the fake YMCA, and it was a refurbished computer from Best Buy that was on sale for like $199, and it was I got lucky because they had the I got lucky because it was the tax free sale or something. Like they had stuff lower price plus tax free for a couple of days. And this year I didn't get to participate in that because of being distracted with coronavirus thing and not having much money and stuff. you know. Um so I'm gonna talk about in the next video about I know I talk off and on about some Christian related stuff and about how Christians in general will handle trauma or whatever, but I'm gonna talk in the next video about how the so-called Christian church, how they handle trauma, how they respond to and how they handle trauma and abuse. And see, people, I'm 37 years old. People still call me childish, immature, crazy. They think I need to grow up, act your age. Like, how can you tell me about bullying, harassing, and lecture me about maturity level? Last I checked, to bully people is childish. To bully an innocent person, just harass, and bully an innocent person who hasn't done you anything. You know, to keep bullying and bullying somebody. Um, Last I knew, that was considered childish. But it seemed like I'm hypersensitive and traumatized, and I heard cults plus narcissistic abuse. That's why I said, why is everybody ignoring my story and making like my situation ain't that bad? Or they think, well, if you've been through so much, you ought to be strong, or you ought to be able to handle situations better than everybody else. But it's not really the case. I never really had any closure or proper therapy or any proper help. And, so um I don't know, but I'm gonna go up now with this video and um talk do another video to talk about how churches deal with trauma and abuse. But all day every day I just hear kids nothing but screaming in the hallway or screaming outside. But I'm gonna go now, and I'll see y'all in a few seconds. Bye.